Hello and welcome. I hope the Election Commission's press conference has short circuited your brain as much as it short circuited my brain. See, I'm not even able to put together sentences at this point. So, I did a reaction video yesterday while we were watching it. During the reaction video, a lot of things came out about how Ganesh Gaslighter is lying to us. Right there, you could see on the face of it. So, what I decided to do today is go through the press conference again with my team and do a mega fact check of Ganesh Kumar, our election commissioner of India, no, our chief election commissioner, and the other people sitting there, I guess they were not doing anything, but still, unka bhi fact check kar dete because association. Anyway, we are going to do a mega fact check, and what we have done, let me show this to you, is that we have created a document called Gupta Ji Chor Hai, which is a fact check, and it has all the time codes of when Gupta Ji said what. It has what Gupta Ji said, which is translated in English. Important because I know a lot of you people also commented कि sir थोड़ा simple Hindi or please speak in English. क्या हिंदी था वो? I understand that. I was also confused. That's why I wanted to watch it again. So we have done some translations of important points that he said. And then there are, of course, the links and fact checks beside it. So in case we think he has said a lie, it is there. In case you disagree, you can disagree, but these are the related articles and links that we have given with it based on what we think are lies. Okay. Again, as you say, there is so much. So this video is going to be about me taking you through the press conference, showing you some bits and pieces, and showing you some evidence about how Ganesh Kumar Gupta has lied to us. This is the Ganesh Kumar Gupta mega fact check video. Okay? And as a bonus in the description, I'll give you this document. It is bit.ly/ECI-lies. ऊपर बड़ा होके इधर लिख के बोल देता हूँ bit.ly/ECI-lies. If you go there, you will end up in this document, and there is also a link in the description. Okay, without further ado, let us begin the mega fact check. So, if you didn't see the press conference yesterday, I have also given a link to make it more tolerable. This is me reacting to the entire press conference. So in case you don't want to see just Ganesh Gupta doing his bakwas, you can see me reacting to him while he does his bakwas. I have heard it makes it more tolerable. So you're welcome. But just as a recap to all the people who didn't see it, for the first 15 minutes, Ganesh Kumar Gupta gave a monologue. He gave a very political monologue, I must say. Okay, so he starts his monologue, and the first thing he says is political parties are born through the election commission registration. How can the election commission discriminate within political parties? He used some very flowery language in Hindi. He might not be a shire, but he does know how to use flowery language. Okay, first things first, this is a lie. This is a total lie. We have seen it so many times. For example, Anurag Thakur does a press conference exposing the ECI in multiple constituencies. No oath taking is required from the election commission side in that case. But Rahul Gandhi, when he does the same thing, they're like, hey, maa kasam khao, take oath, then only you can accuse. And they have not addressed any of his points. They have not addressed anything that Rahul Gandhi has pointed out. There are certain references to it, which you will see in this document also. But largely, the Political Commission of India... Oh shit, sorry. Political Commission bol diya. The Selection Commission of India is very partisan, I must say. For example, look at this very big one. Election Commission sends notice to BJP Chief Nadda for complaints against PM Modi. If you don't remember, in 2024, हमारे श्री सर आदरणीय prime influencer Narendra Ji Modi Ji, the first of his name, he was going around giving hate speeches. There were many other BJP MPs who were giving hate speeches. So what the election commission did after a lot of parties complained that he can't say that, he's causing communal tension, he's doing hate speech. Election commission sent a notice to the BJP chief Nadda ji for complaints against the Prime Minister. And then they send a similar notice to Mallikarjun Kharge. And then they said in that notice ki actually it's okay, just ask your candidates to, calm down a little bit. Don't do hate speech to the president. That is there, and there are many, many examples of this happening. Again, the Anurag Thakur one being the latest one. Then he says 1.6 lakh BLAs are involved in the SIR process. EC's door are always open to everyone. Irony, because just a week ago, they did not open the doors for a 300 MP delegation. A 300 MP delegation was trying to walk from Parliament to the Nirvachan Sadan, which is in Delhi, which is where the Election Commission office is, and they were not allowed to go. Instead, they were detained in a police station. Look at them. Look at all the glorious doors that have opened. So yeah, literally doors were closed for all these MPs who were trying to meet the election commission after Rahul Gandhi's press conference. And at the same time, Anurag Thakur was also doing a press conference, by the way. So yeah, the doors are not open. So it's a lie, Gyanesh. What is this? What is this? We are just into 7 minutes. Chat, kitne lies hue? Chat is keeping a lie counter for me, okay? Just I hope someone is keeping count. So chat is going to decide how many lies. So chat is saying there are 2 or 3 lies that have already happened in 7 minutes 30 seconds. In just his monologue. Abhi to hum shuru kar rahe, friends. CC Gupta says all BLOs are signing forms. Okay, this is something I found weird in yesterday's stream. Let us listen to him.
जमीनी स्तर पर सभी मतदाता, सभी राजनीतिक दल और सभी बूथ लेवल ऑफिसर्स मिलकर एक पारदर्शी तरीके से कार्य कर रहे हैं, सत्यापित भी कर रहे हैं, हस्ताक्षर भी कर रहे हैं और वीडियो टेस्टिमोनियल्स भी दे रहे हैं.
That was a slip of tongue, but it was such a nice, how do they call it? Freudian slip, right? If you remember, this is what Ajit Anjum had found earlier. Look at this clip, where the BLOs are literally doing signatures on the enumeration forms in Bihar SIR, and inadvertently our amazing Gyanesh Kumar Gaslighter, in all his wisdom, slip of tongue, but it is actually true. So what truth?
कर दीजिए दस्तखत, कोई बात नहीं, आप लोग की मजबूरी है, आप लोग को कहा गया दस्तखत.
This is a BLO who is signing the forms. Gyanesh Gupta says BLOs हस्ताक्षर कर रहे हैं, which is true.
दस्तखत करते हैं, तो क्या बस इससे मिला के बस कर दे रहे हैं आप लोग दस्तखत?
One truth. 3 lies, 1 truth.
सब लोग दस्तखत देखिए, BLO साहब सब वोटर के पीछे पन्ने पे दस्तखत कर दे रहे हैं. अब इन लोगों को चूंकि टारगेट दिया गया है, दबाव बनाया गया है जिला प्रशासन या निर्वाचन.
So yeah, they were caught. For this, Ajit Anjum got an FIR against him also. There are more evidences here, by the way. It is not the only person who reported this. There is one report which says voters in Bihar say BLOs didn't even give them the forms. Again, Ajit Anjum's. BLO admits to voter on leaked phone call. He signed the form on behalf of the voter. So BLOs themselves have admitted that they have signed forms on behalf of the voters.
झिटकहिया इस समय फॉर्म कब मिलेगा?
किसका फॉर्म?
वार्ड नंबर 4.
किसका नाम बताइए?
प्रभा कुमारी रामेश्वर कुमार.
अच्छा, प्रभा कुमारी रामेश्वर कुमार. वो कर दिए हुए हैं सर.
कर दिए हुए हैं
जी, हम
कर दिया.
नहीं दिक्कत होगा कोनो?
नहीं दिक्कत, तो साइन करवाए हैं हम लोगों से.
साइन हम कर दिए हैं.
साइन हम कर दिए.
साइन से सारा काम हो जाएगा.
सब कुछ नहीं था उसमें, खाली पिता का नाम, ईपिक नंबर भरना था, आधार आपका ऑलरेडी पहले से उसमें आती है, समझे? तो हम कर दिए.
इसीलिए तो कर देता ना.
So people have recorded the BLOs saying that they have signed the documents and submitted it. Signed the forms and submitted it without even telling the voters. Yeah. So CEC, when he says they've been signing forms, yeah, correct. Truth. Then SC in 2019 has said that machine readable voter roll can cause voter privacy to be breached. This is where the माँ बेटी बहन comes in.
हमने कुछ दिन पहले देखा कि कई मतदाताओं की फोटो उनकी अनुमति के बिना मीडिया के समक्ष रखी गई, उनके ऊपर आरोप लगाए गए, उनका इस्तेमाल किया गया. क्या अपनी माताओं, बहुओं, बेटियों सहित किसी भी मतदाता की सीसीटीवी वीडियो चुनाव आयोग को साझा करनी चाहिए क्या?
Did you hear that? ज्ञानेश कुमार गुप्ता कैजुअली प्लेड द माँ बेटी बहन कार्ड, ऐसे ही फेंक दिया बस ऐसे ही जनरली. Two things he said. One is he said that there is a ruling in the Supreme Court on machine readable voter roll. Essentially what happened is that Kamal Nath of the Congress had complained in the Supreme Court saying that he needs to see the CCTV footage. He needs the machine readable voter list in Madhya Pradesh. So that went to the Supreme Court, and the ECI filed a counter affidavit saying that it has taken a conscious decision not to give copies of the voter list to political parties in scannable text mode so as to protect the privacy of voters. What does this mean? Right now, if you go to the Bihar SIR list, when you go and try to download a document, you will get an image file. You cannot scan it, you cannot read it using a machine, you cannot analyze it. So you cannot search it also. So even if you are a voter who wanted to search for the file, it's an image, so you can't search it. So what Kamal Nath was also asking for was a searchable PDF file. Rahul Gandhi has been asking for a searchable machine readable PDF file because he wants to see what are the kind of anomalies that have happened in a seat like Varanasi. Maybe Anurag Thakur has it because he did it for 6 parliamentary constituencies. I think Rahul Gandhi should go to Anurag Thakur and ask, like genuinely, I think Anurag Thakur probably has the machine readable data at this point. Anyway, so the Supreme Court concurred with the ECI and said nowhere does the clause say that the draft electoral roll has to be put up on the Chief Electoral Officer's website in a searchable PDF. Therefore, the petitioner cannot claim it is a right. So, while the court actually accepted what the ECI was saying, and they said, I mean, it's not necessary that you have to put it up. I don't think they bought the privacy argument, but they were like, okay, fine. The Election Commission doesn't need to put up a machine readable thing. But it also said this: if the petitioner so wants, he can always convert it into searchable mode, which of course would require him to put in his own efforts. That is exactly what Rahul Gandhi did. 40 people from Rahul Gandhi's team went through the non-machine readable data and put it out, right? But the ask still is that if there are anomalies and we need to find them, then we need machine readable data. And of course, the privacy argument. Ma beti behen. Tell me something. On election day, you must have seen clips of all these news channels, including Smita Prakash's ANI, going around and showing people standing in line. There are people who are getting interviewed, all the things. Yeah? That is not a violation of privacy. A CCTV camera inside a polling booth is just literally showing a line. It's not like the women and children, or the children to can't vote. Women are going inside, the Ma Beti Behan are going inside and changing their clothes. It's not a dressing room. It doesn't make any sense. This argument makes zero sense to me. On top of it, a quick reminder, the Election Commission has done the shady. The Election Commission was asked in a case to provide the CCTV footage of Haryana and Maharashtra polls by the Haryana and Punjab High Court. They were asked to give like CCTV footage to a petitioner called Mahmood Pracha. Then uske baad there was this flurry of activity that happened where they changed a rule which disallowed the Election Commission from giving CCTV as evidence completely. Just when asked by the court, they were like, nahi denge. Change kar diya rule pura. Then on top of it, they did this. Election Commission cut storage time for election CCTV footage to 45 days, cites misuse concerns. So even the previous footage which they had, they reduced the time for deleting it. So now 45 days is as much as you get to actually file a petition in court saying that there is some dhandali or manipulation that have happened and you can demand CCTV footage, or you can even ask for it. But they will not give it. But also, all previous footage will also be deleted. So the Election Commission has actively done a lot to delete CCTV footage and prevent people from getting it completely. Gaslighter Gyanesh says ECI's transparency ensures vote chori is virtually impossible. Vote chori allegations unfounded and baseless. Okay, lie, because just look at this one video. This is a video that Akhilesh Yadav had posted. This is a 16-year-old child from Farrukhabad who has voted for the BJP 8 times, like this. And then he posted a video of him voting for the BJP 8 times. 16-year-old child, not of voting age, is going ahead and voting. So this is a gigantic lie. If this can happen, then it's a lie. Yeah, straight up. There are many other instances of weird things that have happened, which is random people are showing up in polling booths and voting and people haven't really seen them there. That is where the floating voter theory also comes from. There have been allegations कि 5 बजे के बाद क्या होता है? Why is there such a giant surge? Why is the election commission hiding the data of the final voter count? Many things have happened which are connected to this. So, lie. Then we come to the question and answer round. This is where his monologue ends. Chat, कितना lies हुआ रे अभी तक? Let's look at the lie count. Chat, Mibin is saying 5-6 till now, 5-6 lies. That shit went viral the moment it dropped. Yeah. Lakshmi is saying 7. Harsh is saying over 9,000. Manu is saying minimum 4 lies. Okay. Koka is saying over 9,000 also. Okay. We will finally come to a consensus later. Now, this is where the question and answer round started. I have to say something about the format of the question and answer session. Okay. First is, they were doing 5 questions at a time, right? So they were going from one question to the other, to the other, to the other. When 5 were done, then Ganesh Gaslighter was answering those questions. Here's the problem. By the time you reach the last question and by the time Ganesh is answering it, you have lost track of the previous 4 questions. When he answers, he did not address which question he is specifically answering most of the time. So he was just going random sometimes. He was just saying things that people haven't even asked. He was saying absolute random nonsense. It felt like filibustering. But yeah, you'll see this. Once I show you the whole document, you'll see how Ganesh Gupta was just answering questions nobody asked. But the questions that were asked: how many Bangladeshi Nepali migrants were found in the SIR? Does the election commission have any figure? When will SIR be conducted in Bengal? Why is only Rahul Gandhi being asked for oath? Why not other leaders being asked for the same? Right? And then the answers. First is, the CEC says these were baseless allegations, the manipulation part. Candidates could not find mistakes in the 45-day period. Remember, I told you about the 45-day period. Vote chori allegations from Kerala are wrong. So this question was completely ignored. The vote chori question that was asked was completely ignored. CEC answers why SIR was needed in haste. Answering a question he was not asked. Again, nobody asked why SIR was needed in haste. He just answered it anyway. Then he said BLOs went door to door to conduct SIR. This is a lie. Reporters Collective just dropped a really massive report. I think you should read it. Again, it's in the document. You will find the link in the description. You can read it. ECI bundled and registered 80,000 voters on fake and wrong addresses in 3 constituencies. Investigation shows in thousands of cases, 20 to 500 voters have been clubbed together and registered as non-existent addresses. Crazy town. So, in this report, you will read it completely. There are notional addresses which have been used. There are people who are saying that the BLOs never visited our house. They didn't even know that their name went into the enumeration form and went to the election commission website. Some people are saying that, oh, we got deleted, but we are alive. What is this nonsense? But look at the headline again. ECI bundled and registered 80,000 voters on fake and wrong addresses in just 3 constituencies in the draft list. Yeah, so the BLOs did not go door to door. अजित अंजुम का वो वीडियो देख के भी देख लो. They did not. This report also proves it. In the 30-day sprint to distribute and collect enumeration forms, booth level officers had only just enough time to superficially carry out the ECI's diktat. If you have seen the videos of all these BLOs which were being asked, did you go to houses, did you do all these things? One thing is common. The BLOs are like, sir, kya kare, sir? We are helpless. It is so much pressure. The DM, the SDM, the ERO, everyone is telling us to file the forms, file the forms, file the forms. ऊपर से order आ रहा है. So in a lot of pressure, these BLOs ended up just uploading these forms by putting in signatures on their own and without any documents. The 11 documents that were asked for. So completely destroying the purpose of the SIR. Just saying. Then CEC answers questions on Nepali and Bangladeshi migrants. Okay. This was a funny one.
इनमें से एक सवाल ये था कि कितने नेपालीज हैं और कितने बांग्लादेशीज. पहली बात तो मैं स्पष्ट कर देना चाहता हूं कि भारत के संविधान के अनुसार सिर्फ भारत का नागरिक ही एमएलए और एमपी का चुनाव कर सकता है. किसी और कोई अधिकार, किसी और देश के नागरिक को यह अधिकार प्राप्त नहीं है. अगर ऐसे लोगों ने इन्यूमरेशन फॉर्म भरा है तो एसआईआर की प्रक्रिया में अपनी पात्रता सिद्ध करने के लिए कुछ दस्तावेज भी मांगे गए, जिनकी गहन जांच 30 सितंबर तक होनी. और ऐसे केस में जो ऐसे लोग हैं जो कि हमारे देश के नहीं हैं, गहन जांच के दौरान वो पाए जाएंगे और निश्चित तौर से उनका वोट नहीं बनेगा.
So, in short, what he is saying is that nobody can contest elections who comes from a different country. Nobody asked him. But also he says that, only citizens of India can be enumerated to vote in India. That is one. But the second thing is, he says that, if there are any illegal Bangladeshi, Myanmari or anyone of that sort, like any illegal immigrants, we will find them through this process. We will find them through this process. Okay? So they don't give numbers. But here's the funny thing. People from Nepal, Bangladesh and Myanmar found during Bihar Special Intensive Revision, says ECI. So, यहाँ पे Election Commission of India themselves on 13th of July had said that a large number of people from Nepal, Bangladesh and Myanmar were found during house-to-house verification of electoral rolls as a part of the SIR revision, right? These were given by sources. So, when Gyanesh Kumar Gupta is actually asked this question, whether they found anyone, they're like, अरे वो होने के बाद पता चलेगा. So, he was lying then and he is still lying. I count that as 2 lies. Right, chat? I count that as 2 lies. CEC non-answers when SIR will be held in Bengal. Someone asked when will the SIR be held in West Bengal, and he doesn't give an answer. Why? Why doesn't he give an answer? It's a big question you should ask. Like, he knows the schedule, right? And he's like, हाँ, हम decide करेंगे. It is going to be a surprise. Yeah, we'll do it when we want to. Right before the election so that we can do maximum ghapla. Oh, that is a sentence I added. He didn't say it. That's what he meant, I guess. So he knows the schedule, but he didn't tell anyone. Is that a lie? Maybe. Half truth? I guess. I think it's lie. CEC answers why he asked Rahul Gandhi for oath and not Anurag Thakur. So one of the questions was, why did you ask Rahul Gandhi to take an oath and why did you ask nobody else to take an oath like Anurag Thakur? So he gives an explanation called a graded response. Before I play this bit, just viewers, I must tell you, दिमाग फटने वाला है.
एक और सवाल था कि जब इतनी पारदर्शी प्रक्रिया है तो फिर भ्रम फैलाने वाली कोशिश पर आप कुछ लोगों से ये कह रहे हैं कि फॉर्म 7 दे दें और कुछ लोगों से कह रहे हैं कि आप शपथ पत्र दे दें. इसका जवाब ये है, लोक प्रतिनिधित्व कानून में जो सबके लिए बराबर है, मेरे लिए भी है, आपके लिए भी है और किसी भी सांसद के लिए भी है और किसी भी एमएलए जी के लिए भी. अगर आप उसी निर्वाचन क्षेत्र के निर्वाचक हैं तो आपको समय रहते शिकायत करने का पूरा मौका है. आप फॉर्म 6 भर सकते हैं, फॉर्म 7 भर सकते हैं, फॉर्म 8 भर सकते हैं. आपके राजनीतिक दल के बूथ लेवल एजेंट्स को भी यह अधिकार प्राप्त होता है कि वो एक शपथ देकर 10 फॉर्म भी बूथ लेवल ऑफिसर्स को दे सकते हैं.
So he's explaining graded response. Okay, why did he ask Rahul Gandhi for an oath and not Anurag Thakur? Point number 1. If you are a voter of that area and you find some discrepancy in the voter roll, you can take an oath and file it. Even the BLO can file it within the prescribed time, which is that 45-day window that he's saying.
बशर्ते आप उस विधानसभा क्षेत्र के निर्वाचक हो. लेकिन अगर आप उस विधानसभा क्षेत्र के निर्वाचक नहीं हैं, उस कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी के आप इलेक्टर नहीं हैं, और अगर आप अपनी शिकायत को आगे बढ़ाना चाहते हैं एक विषय होता है शिकायत करना, एक होता है उसके ऊपर भ्रम फैलाना, और एक
Okay, यहाँ पे just pausing here because this is where he's saying some weird splitty things, I guess. So he's saying that if you are not from that constituency, you have to take an oath and you can complain. But there are two things you can do. One is
उस कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी के आप इलेक्टर नहीं हैं, और अगर आप अपनी शिकायत को आगे बढ़ाना चाहते हैं, एक विषय होता है शिकायत करना,
एक होता है शिकायत करना.
एक होता है उसके ऊपर भ्रम फैलाना.
So one is complaining and the other is making up shit, misleading.
और एक होता है उसके ऊपर चुनाव आयोग पर आरोप लगाना.
And the third is you curse us, you say that we are a chore, you accuse us.
तो ग्रेडेड रिस्पॉन्स के तहत
Graded
अगर
response.
आप उस क्षेत्र के निर्वाचक नहीं हैं,
हाँ.
तो आपके पास एकमात्र कानून में विकल्प है,
हाँ.
और वो है रजिस्ट्रेशन ऑफ इलेक्टर रूल्स, रूल संख्या 20, सब क्लॉज 3, सब क्लॉज बी, जो ये कहता है कि अगर आप निर्वाचक नहीं हैं उस विधानसभा क्षेत्र के, तो आप एक विटनेस के तौर पर अपनी शिकायत दर्ज करा सकते हैं, और इलेक्टोरल रजिस्ट्रेशन ऑफिसर को आपको एक ओथ देनी होगी, और वो ओथ जिस व्यक्ति के खिलाफ आपने शिकायत की है उसके सामने एडमिनिस्टर करानी होगी.
So mota, what he's saying is that if you're a person in that constituency, you can complain directly to us within prescribed time. If you're not a person who is not in that constituency, you can complain to us in a prescribed time, but you have to take oath. But if you are someone who is just calling us out on our mistakes, that's fine. But if you are accusing us, the election commission, then you have to take oath under this rule, which he quoted. I must show you which rule because it's also very stupid. This is the rule he's been quoting, which is Rule 20, Registration of Electorals Rule 1960. Okay, यहाँ पे experts have said that the Rule 23B, which he's quoting, the Election Commission does not apply to this situation and relates instead to claims and objections raised following the preparation of draft electoral rolls after a revision exercise. So the rule that he's quoting in mota, without getting into too much technicalities, is not even related to what Rahul Gandhi did. The rule that he's quoting is about preparation of draft lists, which is currently happening in Bihar in case of SIR. Karnataka mein, the constituency Mahadevpura, which he was exposing, in that constituency the elections have already happened. The draft list उसके पहले ही बन गया था, final list भी आ गया था, election भी हो गया, 45 days चला भी गया. That is when this rule should have applied. No. And now Gyanesh Kumar Gupta is making up shit as he goes along. The rule that he says is wrong. This was a lie. This is a big lie. Then we come to question answer round 2. But I know this is getting heavy, so take some JCB ki khudai. Okay, did you enjoy JCB ki khudai? Yeah, I'll give you more later. I know this is a heavy video and that's why every time there is something heavy, JCB ki khudai is important. Let us continue. Question and answer round 2 happens. Hindustan Times. Question on voter rolls being updated to non-machine readable. Remember, machine readable, non-machine readable. वो तो चल रहा है अभी भी. Paranjay Guha Thakurda was there. He asked 4 questions. Why are you conducting SIR in a hurry? हमारे ज्ञानेश कुमार गुप्ता ने पहले ही उसका आंसर दे दिया एडवांस में, पूछा भी नहीं था, दे दिया. Why did ECI not give machine readable voter list before SC instructed it to? If you noticed, SC had instructed them to give a machine readable list of at least the people who are dead, which they have. Maharashtra having he asked why does Maharashtra have more voter population than adult population? And final, my favorite question, why is Devendra Fadnavis answering all the questions directed at ECI? We have given some links with this so that you can go through it for context as well. Then Times Now reporter asked a question on thin line between EC allowing citizens to vote and deciding who is citizen and Aadhaar and Epic linking. Then begin the answers. Now, friends, I need you to brace yourself for this one, because Gyanesh Gaslighter Gupta uncle is going to give a very mansplainy uncle explanation of what machine readable is. थोड़ा सा प्ले कर रहा है.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने भी इस विषय का गहन अध्ययन किया और ये पाया कि मशीन रीडेबल इलेक्टोरल रोल देने से वोटर की प्राइवेसी का हनन हो सकता है. इसलिए मशीन रीडेबल एक अलग चीज है. मशीन रीडेबल का अर्थ होता है कि आप उस इलेक्टोरल रोल को पढ़ भी सकते हैं. उसमें अगर आपके पास कंप्यूटर पे वो सूची आ गई तो आप ये फोटो उठा के दूसरी जगह भी डाल सकते हैं. अगर आपने एक व्यक्ति की फोटो दूसरी जगह डाल दी और पलट दी तो वो व्यक्ति वोट ही नहीं कर पाएगा, क्योंकि जब वो वोट करने जाएगा तो उसका चेहरा नहीं मिलेगा.
Okay, understand what he's saying. Basically, he says that if we make the voter copy machine readable, someone will come in and change the data, which is hacking. He's saying that someone will hack the election commission and change the voter details, and actual people will not be able to vote. Yes, that for him, that is what machine readable is.
तो मशीन रीडेबल एक अलग चीज है. मशीन रीडेबल वर्जित है. तो उसको आप, और ये चुनाव आयोग का अकेला फैसला नहीं है, ये चुनाव आयोग का फैसला माननीय सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जजमेंट के बाद है और 2019 से है. तो मशीन रीडेबल अलग चीज हो गई और एक लिस्ट को सर्च करना वो एक अलग विषय हो गया. जब आप एक लिस्ट को सर्च करते हैं,
Just saying, as Ansi Woman is saying, that is not how databases work. Any engineer or any random person who is on the internet and uses a computer knows that. Gyanesh ji. His explanation makes no sense. His whole reason is that machine readable data दिया तो लोग election commission में घुस जाएंगे and they'll change the voter rolls. Dude, come on!
तो उसमें एक सवाल यह आया था कि डुप्लीकेट एपिक की समस्या चुनाव आयोग ने जब पहले सॉल्व कर ली तो इस तरह के डुप्लीकेट एपिक दोबारा कैसे आए.
Yes.
डुप्लीकेट एपिक दो तरीके से हो सकते हैं. एक कि एक व्यक्ति जो वेस्ट बंगाल में है, जो व्यक्ति अलग है, उसका एक एपिक नंबर है, और एक व्यक्ति जो हरियाणा में है उसका एपिक नंबर भी वही है.
He's now just randomly he's pivoted to deduplication. Okay, so one of the allegations is that there are duplicate voter IDs in the same constituency. He's just like migration के बारे में बात करते. There is a dude in West Bengal, there is a dude in somewhere else, and then oh, of course they moved, so there are now two voter IDs.
अर्थात एपिक नंबर 1 व्यक्ति 2.
ये
जब ये
पता
सवाल
नहीं कहाँ से आया.
लगभग मार्च 2025
How-
हम लोगों ने उसके ऊपर चर्चा की और उसको हम
How
लोगों
did
ने
that happen?
पूरे
Anyway.
देश भर में सुलझाया. लगभग ऐसे 3 लाख लोग मिले जिनकी एपिक संख्या 1 थी, तो उनकी एपिक संख्या बदल दी गई. जैसे एक ही एपिक से 2 लोग ना हो, एक ही नंबर के 2 लोग ना हो. दूसरी तरह की डुप्लीकेसी ऐसे आती है
हाँ.
जब एक ही व्यक्ति का एक से ज्यादा जगह मतदाता सूची में नाम हो और उसका एपिक नंबर अलग हो. अर्थात व्यक्ति 1 एपिक अनेक.
So I don't know why he gave the first reason. He says, oh, there are 2 kinds of duplications. One epic number and 2 people. How did that happen? I don't know. But maybe it did. And they have removed like 3 lakh people who had that. But then there is also 1 person, 2 epic numbers. Now that is what he's explaining. Listen to this one carefully and try not to get infuriated.
पहली वाली स्थिति ये थी, एपिक 1 व्यक्ति अनेक.
अरे बता है रे.
एपिक 1 व्यक्ति अनेक की
आगे बढ़ो.
समस्या तो चुनाव आयोग ने पहले सुलझा ली.
आगे बढ़ो.
लेकिन जब ये विषय आया कि एक ही व्यक्ति और उसके कई एपिक्स हैं, तो कुछ केसेस में जब शिकायत आई तो हम लोगों ने तहकीकात की तो ये समझ में आया कि जो व्यक्ति, जैसे मैंने आपको बताया था कि अगर वो गांव में रहता था तो वहां उसका एक ना जगह नाम था, फिर वो शहर में आया, फिर वो वहां से चलते चलते दिल्ली या बंबई पहुंच गया और उसने अपना पुराना नाम डिलीट नहीं कराया.
Yes.
पहले ये संभव नहीं.
हाँ?
2003 से पहले नाम अगर आपको पुरानी जगह से कटवाना है तो कोई वेबसाइट नहीं थी इलेक्शन कमीशन की जिसमें एक ही जगह सारा डेटा हो. हर स्टेट की अलग अलग वेबसाइट थी. तो नतीजा, अगर आप पटना से चल के दिल्ली आ चुके हैं और आप पटना का वोट कटवाना चाह रहे थे तो आप एक पत्र लिख सकते हैं. अब उस पत्र के ऊपर कार्रवाई हुई, आपने सही जगह भेजा, नहीं भेजा और आपका वहां वोट नहीं कटा, आप दिल्ली आ चुके, आपका यहाँ नया मतदाता सूची में नाम आ गया, आपके पास एक नया एपिक नंबर है. तो 2003 से पहले चूंकि तकनीकी सुविधा अवेलेबल नहीं थी तो इस तरह के बहुत लोग जो माइग्रेट कर करके अलग अलग जगह गए, उनके नाम कई जगह आ गए. फिर एक ये सवाल उठा कि फिर उसको आज की तारीख में तो वेबसाइट है, कंप्यूटर.
Now he is just randomly going back to 2003 and saying that it was not possible to deduplicate before 2003 because there were paper rolls and then we got digitized. Again, like just, I know this makes no sense for people who are watching because it doesn't. Just watch certain things because I'm going to make a very explosive, exclusive revelation after this. That's why I want you to go through this.
कंप्यूटर है, उसको आप सेलेक्ट करके हटा सकते हैं. लेकिन वही मैं बात आपको बताना चाह रहा था, चुनाव आयोग मतदाताओं के साथ चट्टान की तरह खड़ा होता है. अगर किसी के कहने से मैं आपका वोट काट दूं,
हाँ.
या किसी के कहने से मैं ये मानूं कि पीयूष जी के नाम के, अगर आपको अंदाजा ना हो तो अगर पीयूष जी के नाम को अगर आप 100 करोड़ में सर्च करेंगे तो आपको हजारों लोग मिलेंगे.
Right.
अब कौन से पीयूष जी का नाम काटा जाए? कौन से पीयूष जी 2 है ये? तो अगर इसको जल्दीबाजी में किया जाएगा तो किसी भी मतदाता का नाम गलत कट सकता है। आपकी जगह किसी और का कट जाए।
Okay, he just explained a few things without meaning to. In his nonsense, garbled way, he just explained a few things. I took some time to understand this. First is, there are migrations which result in duplication. Before 2003, there were no ways to remove those duplicate entries, right? He gave some reason about like 1 epic ID, 2 people, 2 epic ID, 1 person, whatever nonsense he did. Third thing he said is that, oh, if I do a control F find and search for Piyush in a database, notice the word in a database, there will be thousands of Piyush. Which Piyush do I remove? It made me think this guy is onto something. And he really is. Because this is the biggest lie he has told, and it has exposed the election commission so hard. This was a massive self goal. Let me tell you how. Okay. In 2018, they brought in this wonderful thing. And this is from the Election Commission website, by the way, called ERONet, right? This is exactly what Gyanesh Kumar Gupta said, and it's written better in this document. Form processing has been the core work of election officials across the nation. 36 disparate applications, Excel, state-wise specific to maintain the electoral registration. It was very difficult. There was a lot of cost involved. Smooth migration of elector hota nahi tha. They are saying that there used to be existence of multiple entries for the same elector, non-removal of dead and shifted voters, non-availability of current status of enrolled and individual electors, right? So they brought in this ERONet, which is a web-based system for electoral officials in 14 languages, 11 scripts, of all 92 crore voters in India together into a singular database. It is called, it has a UNPER, which is a common database for all states and UTs with data of all 92 crore electors. So, here is what this says. It explains why they need it and how the website runs on top of it, etc. But here is the operative part. Maintenance of health of electoral roll. Among the major laws governing elections is the Representation of Peoples Act 1950, which mainly deals with preparation and revision of electoral rolls. Publishing of electoral rolls is a key process that happens before the elections and is vital for the conduct of elections in India. Epic portability. Migration from one constituency to another while retaining the same epic number. ERONet facilitates easy migration from one constituency to another by facilitating seamless communication between EROs of two constituencies. Deduplication is also taken care of while including entries in the e-roll. What this means is that they know people who are migrating from one place to the other. They know they are using the same Epic ID. They have built an entire system in 2018 where the duplication doesn't happen. Just repeating. 2018, they built a system where this is not supposed to happen. Right? More than that, look at this. ERONet was further enhanced with alert monitoring facilities were added at the level of ERO, DEO, CEO and ECI level, along with suo motu action for EROs and processing for removal of logical errors and DSC. What that means is there is a dashboard on that whatever system they have, which is alerting them to errors and logical errors and all the sorts of errors we've been seeing. It is alerting them and they can remove them. They can take it suo motu cognizance and remove them. But they haven't been doing it. It is bullshit. So Gyanesh Kumar Gupta, when he was waxing eloquent about how control F करके delete नहीं कर सकता, I think he was thinking about this dashboard. He knows it can be done. बोलते बोलते self goal मार दिए. Gyanesh Kumar Gupta has lied. Actually, the Election Commission has been lying to us for years now. This is like proof. Another thing, look at this one. Every BLO, ARO, ERO, DEO has two very important software tools to remove fake and invalid voters. See, they mentioned DSC, demographic similar entry. This happens where two or more voter records have the same demographic details, name, age, father's name, address. Two applicants are received with nearly identical personal details. System flags them. Photo similar entry. They can identify people with a photograph. two voter records are found with similar photographs. Example, even if names are or details differ, if photos match closely, it is flagged. They have a photo flagging system also. These are tools that are available with every BLO, AERO, ERO, and DEO. So at a central level they have it, and at a decentralized level also they have it. So, mota, what that means is that these people knew there were errors. The system was flagging it. It is designed to flag it. They did not remove it. Since 2018, this can of worm goes deep. फट गया मेरा दिमाग ये सुन के और देख के. Holy shit! Then they are saying they move on to why was the SIR being conducted in haste. Special summary revision was conducted in January 2025. Okay, one of the reasons that he gave about SIR being conducted was, we have only a few dates to conduct the SIR. One is in January, the second is in April, the third is in July, and the fourth is in November. And since elections are coming up in November in Bihar, therefore, do you think we should have done it in January? Actually, they did it in January. Then they're like, oh no, but April would be too far away or too close to January one. बहुत बकवास किया. Basically, the whole thing is that SSR, the summary revision has already happened in Bihar in January of this year. They decided to just completely ignore it and do another SIR, which defies all logic. CEC answers why SIR was conducted in July by saying 20 years ago SIR was also conducted in July. So, one of the questions people have been asking is there are floods happening in Bihar, the weather is bad, people will not be able to fill their enumeration forms, or BLOs might not be able to reach the people because floods. So, nobody asked, I think someone asked, I don't know where this came from, but he answered anyway. He said,
इस हाथ जुलाई में क्यों? उस समय मौसम अच्छा नहीं होता. तो आपकी जानकारी के लिए मैं बताना चाहता हूं कि बिहार में इसके पहले भी 2003 में SIR हुआ था और उसकी तारीख थी 14 जुलाई से 14 अगस्त और तब भी सफलतापूर्वक हुआ था और इस बार भी सफलतापूर्वक सबके इन्यूमरेशन फॉर्म्स वापस आ गए.
his logic is 22 years ago in 2003 Bihar mein we did the SIR during the same time. We did it back then. So we are doing it now. I don't know, but is this a lie? Chat, is this a lie or what is it exactly? I couldn't make up a mind. So, yeah, maybe someone here can suggest like a climate change article here about how weather patterns have changed in Bihar in the last 22 years and how there is more instances of flooding. I don't know how to fact check this. I don't know. Gupta ji explains his interpretation of Supreme Court's orders on releasing list of 65 lakh deleted voters. He spoke about Aadhaar, essentially. And then he explained the graded response again, what I explained earlier about the vote taking. I don't know why he just decided to do it again. Then we come to round 3 of questions. Okay. This was end of part 2. So I'm going to take a break and JCB ki khudai. Ye lo. Welcome back from JCP ki khudai. I just asked chat if there is a lie counter anymore, and some people said that the moment they saw Gyanesh Gaslighter's face, there was like a reset in their brains, so they forgot. Every sentence is a lie, apparently. So people are like 420 lies. Someone is like 19 20. 2 people said 17. That's a very accurate number, so we are going with that. 17 lies so far. Okay? If you disagree, leave a comment. Anyway, now part 3. Alright, questions round 3. Summary revision was done in January of this year and SIR is being done now. How can 22 lakh voters be found dead? And how can 32 lakh voters be shifted out of the state? And this was a big question that was asked and the answer was bizarre. Did fake voters vote in 2024 election? Is an NRC being created through SIR process? Then another one, Aadhaar is backed with biometric data. How can the ECA address this, and will that lead to deduplication? When a complaint is made against the ECI, will the ECI address the complaint, or will the ECI question the complainant's intentions? This was a star question for me. The gentleman who made this star question, kudos to you. 7.2 crore enumeration forms have been received as of 1st of August. How many of these forms have documents submitted along with them? Again, a very important question, which Gyanesh Gumao-fied and Golgolo-fied again. What is the logic behind recommended by BLOs and not recommended? There are two columns which people have been pointed out. Even the people who have gotten on the draft list, there is one recommended by BLO and non-recommended by BLO. Nobody understand what are these two mysterious columns. They asked for the election commission. No answer. Abhi bata deta hu. Will ECI take action on Rahul Gandhi for his constant allegations? What will the ECI do to improve its image and increase trustworthiness? Sorry, how many new voters were added through Form 6 during SIR? Okay, very important bunch of questions. We noted the questions down because also it's important. Here are the answers. First, Gupta ji explained how more voters died in 6 months. Okay, admits that there are errors in voter list.
पहला ये था कि 6 महीनों में इतने मृत लोग कैसे पाए गए। शायद इसका जवाब मैं पहले दे चुका था कि पिछले 20 सालों से जब ये नॉर्मल रिवीजन होता है तो घर घर जाकर इन्यूमरेशन फॉर्म नहीं दिया जाता है, और शायद इसलिए कई बार जब घरों में किसी की मृत्यु हो जाती है तो वो इन्फॉर्मेशन बीएलओ के पास कैसे आएगी। तो बीएलओ के पास अगर उस परिवारजनों ने न बताई तो बीएलओ के पास संभव नहीं होगा। इसीलिए 22 लाख मतदाता कोई 6 महीने में मरे हुए नहीं, ये वो मृत मतदाता हैं जो लगभग पिछले 20 सालों में रिकॉर्ड करने से छूट गए।
Look at this. Again, he says, when someone asked him ki in the last 6 months, how did 22 people end up dead in Bihar? That's very unnatural. It is statistically impossible for that to happen. He's saying, oh, actually, this is not the last 6 months. This is the last 20 years. He's saying 22 lakh people who are dead missed the summary revisions of 22 years. Which means election commission was doing a shit job all those 22 years. They just missed it. So now, because of this summary revision, they're able to find 22 lakh dead people who have to be removed from the list. Now, the funny thing is, this is a lie. Yogendra Yadav went to the Supreme Court and he showed up with 2 voters who were declared dead by the election commission after Bihar SIR. They were alive. I mean, he showed up with alive people who were declared dead. Another thing, an MP from Buxar gave this interview to Red Mike, where he said that 2 people are registered in his house and he doesn't even know about it. Yes, that's happening to an MP also. And he showed up with 17 people who were declared dead from his constituency but were not actually dead, and he also showed up in the Supreme Court. So Gupta ji say उन्होंने तो जिंदा लोगों को ही मार दिया, 22 lakh people मार दिया. Yeah, so lie. Okay. Gupta ji says Congress misrepresented ECI data in its PPT. Voting and voter list are different. I will go to that. Now, this is where things start getting a little unhinged, I feel like, in Gyanesh Gupta's brain, and therefore in our brains also. Third thing he says is a voter can only press a button once if voter appears twice in the voter list. How is vote theft possible? Okay, let's look at this one.
लेकिन 1 सितंबर के बाद नहीं, क्योंकि उसके बाद वही दौर शुरू हो जाता है कि मतदाता सूची एक अलग चीज होती है और मतदान अलग चीज होती है। मतदान में जब कोई वोटर वोट करने जाता है और वो बटन दबाता है तो एक ही बार दबा सकता है। मतदाता सूची में अगर 2 जगह नाम हो तो वोट चोरी कैसे?
His logic is bizarre. What he says is that the process of voting is different from voter list. So if you vote, you can only vote once. But in the voter list, you can have your name twice. But how can you vote once or twice? So how can manipulation happen? How can this happen? Literal translation of what is said. I don't know. Is this a lie or is this just him making up shit? A voter can only press button once, right? Again, just for posterity's sake, फिर से देख लो. 16-year-old child voting multiple times. How can they vote once? How can they vote twice? 16-year-old child voting 8 times in Farrukhabad, making a video, bragging about it, just casually. क्यों नहीं? 5 वोट. क्या बात है? बीजेपी को दे रहा था वो आदमी, मतलब he would have spread the love. He could have, but he didn't. Kept the phone down. 7 vote, guys. 7 vote. Someone told me just see if there is a mark on his finger when this happens. Because he's showing the back of his hand. There is no mark that I can see. No ink marking that I can see here. So essentially, this guy didn't get inked. That's why he could go to multiple voter booths and just cast his vote again and again. 16-year-old child. So, Gupta ji, plus. Okay. Now we come to another big ass lie. Okay. Gupta ji, out of nowhere, started answering a question that nobody asked about people who have house number 0 as their addresses. And see, woman just pointed out there was repolling in Farrukhabad. Yes, good detail to add. There was repolling in Farrukhabad, but the fact that this child was able to vote 8 times still proves that you can do it. The guy got caught because he recorded it and put it up like a moron because he's 16. He put it up on his Instagram to brag about it because he's 16. How many other people would have done it and not got caught? And that's why they don't show the CCTV footage. It's that simple. One person could be spotted in multiple polling booths. How will we explain that? House number 0.
उसका पता वो जगह दी जाती है जहां वो व्यक्ति रात को सोने आता है, कई बार सड़क के किनारे, कई बार पुल के नीचे या कई बार लैंप पोस्ट के किनारे। और फिर अगर ये कहा जाए कि वो फर्जी मतदाता है, ये हमारे गरीब मतदाताओं, बहनों, भाइयों और बुजुर्गों के साथ एक बहुत बड़ा खिलवाड़ है। 0 नंबर। आपको पता है इस देश में करोड़ों लोगों के घरों के पते के आगे 0 नंबर है। क्यों? क्योंकि पंचायत, म्यूनिसिपैलिटी, जिस घर में वो रहते हैं, उन्होंने उनका नंबर नहीं दिया। शहरों में अनऑथराइज्ड कॉलोनीज है जहां उनको नंबर नहीं है, तो वो अपने फॉर्म में क्या पता भरें? तो चुनाव आयोग के निर्देश कहते हैं अगर ऐसा कोई भी मतदाता इस देश में है, चुनाव आयोग उसके साथ खड़ा है और उसको नोशनल नंबर देगा। और चूंकि कंप्यूटर में जब उसको भरते हैं तो वो 0 दिखता है।
ओके, ही सेड कि एक नोशनल नंबर देंगे विच विल बी 0. दैट्स आल्सो अ लाई. Notional address. From the same article of Reporters Collective, our Reporters Collective found that several of the 80,000 bundled into fake addresses or wrong addresses had also been listed in the same fashion in the January 2025 final voter list. SIR has not improved upon it. Right? Here's another one. 0 nahi tha iska. By the way, after Bihar's SIR cleanup, some voters have dots as their name. Okay, you can explain 0. Explain dots to me. I had shown in a previous stream a file which Rahul Gandhi had shared which had addresses like #house 0000. So if it's just 10, it should show up as a notional number which is 0. But dots kahan se aa gaye bhaiya? Kahan se aa gaye? How did the machine accept that? How did the election commission accept that? Another thing, homeless people, when they have to register, they still have to give an address. Right? The BLO still has to give an address because they have to visit the place twice or thrice to show that they're living there in at least temporary perpetuity. That it's not perpetual. Temporarily they're living there, and so they give some address that they're registered there. Then I feel like Gyanesh Gupta at this point also like got stuck in what he was saying and started saying some random ass things. Honestly, just listen to this.
इसका अर्थ ये नहीं है कोई मतदाता नहीं है।
हाँ.
मतदाता बनने की शर्तों में आपका पता इतना अनिवार्य नहीं है जितनी कि आपकी नागरिकता और आपके 18 वर्ष की आयु पूरा होना और जितना कि आप उस बूथ के आजू बाजू में रहते हैं। इन अनिवार्यताओं के तहत ही आपका वोट बनता है।
He just said a very interesting thing. He said when it comes to voting, there are only 2 things that are important, which is your age and whether you are a citizen of India. Okay, listen again.
मतदाता बनने की शर्तों में आपका पता इतना अनिवार्य नहीं है जितनी कि आपकी नागरिकता और आपके 18 वर्ष की आयु पूरा होना।
Pata is not important. Address is not important. That's what he just said. I don't know what he's thinking because I'm confused, chat here. In the basic concept of voting, I am registered to vote in Malviya Nagar, certain booth number, certain part, and this address, right? The address is important because I am voting for a representative who is going to represent this area. All the people around me are voting for their local representative. the MLA will be restricted to this constituency. If address is not important when voting, how is the concept of assembly is going to work? How is the concept of a constituency going to work? Do you understand that? So Gyanesh Gupta in his excitement has said some extremely random things. I think this was not a lie, but what was it even? I'm so confused. Okay, about to tell you another big lie. How can ECI send notice to 1.5 lakh voters, he said, referring to fake voters in Congress vote chori allegation. Essentially, he's saying that Rahul Gandhi showed like 1 lakh plus voters. So are we supposed to send notices to all of them? And can we delete voters without proof? Oh, yahi pe accused. Okay.
ना और जितना कि आप उस बूथ के आजू बाजू में रहते हैं, इन अनिवार्यताओं के तहत ही आपका वोट बनता है। शिकायत के ऊपर जांच क्यों नहीं होती? इस सवाल का जवाब भी देना बनता है। अगर मीडिया में किसी एक व्यक्ति के बारे में शिकायत आ जाए तो चुनाव आयोग कहता है कि नियम में तो नहीं है लेकिन कर लेनी चाहिए। वो सीईओ को बोलता है, या सीईओ कई बार चीफ इलेक्टोरल ऑफिसर स्वतः संज्ञान ले लेते हैं, डीएम स्वतः संज्ञान ले लेते हैं और जांच कर लेते हैं। लेकिन अगर आरोप 1.5 लाख मतदाताओं का हो तो क्या बिना किसी सबूत के, बिना किसी हलफनामे के 1.5 लाख मतदाताओं को नोटिस जारी कर दिया जाए?
This made no sense.
क्या यह न्याय संगत होगा? कानून में न प्रावधान है, न कोई शपथ पत्र है, न कोई एविडेंस है, न कोई सबूत है। तो क्या 1.5 लाख नोटिस जारी करके उन मतदाताओं को एसडीएम के दफ्तर में बुलाया जाए और यह कहा जाए कि आप फर्जी?
He's saying, oh, if there are fake voters, are we supposed to send notices to all these 1 lakh people? And are we supposed to are we supposed to call them in the office and tell them कि आप फर्जी हो? But he also admitted before that sometimes the election commission does take suo motu cognizance. They do answer these allegations and then they take care of it. But in case of Rahul Gandhi, they won't do it because I don't know. क्या explanation है? You figure it out. I don't know. In another instance, Gupta ji had said that election commission just cannot delete voters, right? We have a procedure. We cannot delete them like that. Like related to this. Funnily enough, that was a lie because Representation of People's Act Section 22 says the following. Yes, मैंने act भी लगा दिया उधर. पढ़ लेना. This is like the basic act where all of this flows from. So you might have fun reading it. कहाँ गया Section 22? Yes, देखो. Correction of entries in electoral rolls. If the electoral registration officer (ERO) for a constituency on application made to him on his or her or on his own motion is satisfied after such inquiry as he thinks fit that any entry in the electoral roll of constituency is erroneous or defective, should be transposed to another place in the roll, should be deleted on the ground that the person of concerned is dead or has ceased to be an ordinary resident in the constituency. The electoral registration office shall, as may be given by the election commission order, special direction, amend, transpose or delete the entry. Which means the ERO has the complete right to amend, transpose or delete the entry. Remember when I told you about that software? They built a special function in that software which allows them to do this according to the Representation of People's Act. So the fact that the election commission hasn't fixed all these errors doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. They're now giving like legal reasons कि ओ ऐसे कैसे delete कर सकते जरूर कर सकते suo motu cognizance they can take and they can delete it. The act says it. He's just lying. ECI will never work on false allegation by parties based on them misinterpreting ECI data without affidavit. So he repeated this multiple times that Rahul Gandhi has to file an affidavit. Rahul Gandhi has to file an affidavit. But the funny thing here is that CEO Karnataka had asked Rahul Gandhi to give a signed declaration on the day he did the press conference on August 7th. Raat ko. He didn't give it. Then they said, oh, 7 दिन में दे देना. Then Gyanesh Kumar Gupta yesterday again said कि और 7 दिन में दे देना. What I don't understand, as I said, is the rule doesn't exist where they can ask for this. But also affidavit, why? And affidavit's whole point is to authenticate information. So what are they asking Rahul Gandhi to do? The information that he had was given by the Election Commission. So Rahul Gandhi is supposed to authenticate Election Commission's data. Shouldn't the Election Commission authenticate their own data using an affidavit? Shouldn't Gyanesh Kumar Gupta be giving an affidavit before saying all this nonsense? It makes no sense. And of course, there is the second thing, which is double standards. Anurag Thakur doesn't have to give an affidavit. Why? Why? And then we come to the last round of questions. Will the ECI make Aadhaar the 12th document accepted in SIR? Akhilesh Yadav said that he has formally complained to the ECI through affidavits of about 18,000 voters and that the ECI has not accepted his complaints. Then there was another one. The BJD had complained about irregularities in Odisha's voter list during the 2024 elections. Did the EC investigate that? There are media reports showing how many residents in Bihar do not have single document out of 11 acceptable in SIR. In 2004, when the SIR was being carried out, an EC order left out Maharashtra and Arunachal because polls were due in those states. Why has the EC not followed the same principle this time in Bihar? These are extremely smart questions, by the way. Should the EC have had wider consultations with political parties, its largest stakeholder, before embarking on the exercise like the SIR? Will the EC do anything to correct the perception of voters? Again, they asked before, ki EC bhaiya, what are you doing to increase the trust in this institution? Because there are a lot of people who are distrusting you. Gyanesh Gaslighter, what are you doing to improve trust? That was the second time that was asked, and Gyanesh doesn't answer. Just telling you that right now. Will the EC take responsibility for conducting annual summary revisions properly to ensure large variances in voter list do not occur? So people are also trying to make him commit to the summary revisions that happened earlier, which is completely discarded. Answers. So first he gave answer on timing of Bihar, SSR and SIR. Again, the same thing he said about, oh, we can just do SIR in this time because earlier in January we couldn't do it, April we couldn't do it, November mein to election aa jayega, so that's why we need to do it. Bullshit answer, makes no sense. I saw this, you can see it too. I'm not going to play it because he's triggering. What I do want to play is the next one. Gupta ji says BJD and Akhilesh Yadav's complaints do not matter.
ये बात कही गई कि किसी एक राज्य से, उड़ीसा से या उत्तर प्रदेश से कुछ शिकायतें की गई. बात वहीं की वहीं है. चुनाव हारने या जीतने के बाद जिस मतदाता सूची पर चुनाव हुआ उसके ऊपर बिना हलफनामा दिए, हलफनामा दिया गया बात ठीक नहीं है, बिना हलफनामा दिए, बिना ओथ दिए, सिर्फ एक पत्र लिख कर अगर हमारे बूथ लेवल ऑफिसर्स और एसडीएम्स और डीएम्स इनके कार्यशैली पर अगर कोई प्रश्न चिन्ह लगाता है तो ये गलत है.
Blatant freaking lie. Let me show you. Akhilesh Yadav gave this amazing tweet to us, to the world at large, to prove that Gyanesh Kumar Gupta is lying. Here you go. Affidavits have been given. These are receipts. Today, Akhilesh Yadav was spotted in Parliament distributing copies of the affidavits that they have filed with the complaints that they have filed. 18,000 complaints were filed. I must point out, Tejasvi Yadav has made a similar allegation. He said that with the Bihar SIR also, they have filed 1,000 plus complaints, affidavits, and the Election Commission hasn't done anything about it. BJD also complained about the same thing. Today, in a press conference, Sanjay Singh said during the Delhi elections, they have submitted multiple affidavits where they have complained that BJP workers were putting in applications to add and delete voters in thousands. And that was also on an affidavit, by the way. The Election Commission did nothing. So Gyanesh Gupta blatantly lied. This was, as someone is saying, this was a total based response, okay? Look at him. Just de diya ki, अरे भैया receipt है हमारे पास. Why you lie, Gyanesh? Why you lie like this? It's so easy to catch. People are having a field day at your expense. Like तुम्हारे bosses will be very upset, Gyanesh. Opposition को इतना ammo दे रहे हो तुम. मेरा ही वीडियो चला गया 1.5 घंटे से ऊपर, इतना फैक्ट चेक किया तेरे को. Anyway, moving on. Gupta ji says he does not know how many people have given documents and how people have just filled blank enumeration forms. Someone asked how many of these forms that have been submitted did not have documents attached to them. And Gupta ji says they don't know. Why? Why don't you know? It is all online. You have been bragging about the portal that is collecting all these forms and how sophisticated it is, and you can't find out how many people gave forms without documents. Liar, obfuscator. Cannot answer this question before 30th September as process is stuck on SDM level. So cute. We have just attached a document, an article here. You can read it. How inclusive is the Election Commission of India's special revision exercise? There was a survey conducted in Assam, Kerala, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, and NCT of Delhi, which shows in all of these states how many people have those 11 documents. It's very interesting. So you can go and look at this. The link is in the file, and the link to this file is in the description. And finally, ending the press conference, Ganesh Kumar Gupta pointed out that aggrieved people can now submit their Aadhaar with their enumeration form. This was the first truth that he said. No, seriously. Like in the last, how many seconds are left? Wait, देखना पड़ेगा मुझे. So at 1 hour 23 mark, in the last minute, literally, he said a truth. He said aggrieved people can now submit Aadhaar, and the Supreme Court had ordered in public notice it shall also be expressly mentioned that the aggrieved persons may submit their claims along with copy of their Aadhaar card. This was a big one tight slap to the Election Commission, but he admitted it. Bhai, kuch to mila. Ganesh Kumar Gupta, thank you for this one truth which you were holding on to. Okay, now that we are done, I'm going to go to chat and I'm going to ask, what is the lie counter, friends? What is the lie counter? Because वही मेरे thumbnail और headline में भी जाएगा. Lovepreet is saying 26, Kotaro is saying 25, Hardir is saying 27. Truth counter 1, lie counter 25. 27, 25, 27, 25. Worst version of two truths and a lie. Kotaro is saying 25. Number of answers 1. 30 round off. Harsh is 9,000. Okay, I'm going to go with 25 lies because that looks nice on a thumbnail and a title. Chat if you disagree or in the comments if you disagree with the number of lie counter that my chat has done. Please leave a comment below about how many lies did you observe. So, that was the mega fact check of Ganesh Kumar Gupta Gaslighter. He's the election commissioner, chief election commissioner of India, and he has lied 25 times, according to chat. And we are doing this whole exercise because I feel it is time to show people how much of a shitty institution the election commission has become. Because
this is Sparta!
I'm at war. My voting right is being stolen and I can't take it anymore. I hope you are too. I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.